All right, so we are on day 26 of Diary of a Multifaceted Mama. And this morning, I have been doing mom stuff. I just put some quiche in the oven. And, I bought store-bought quiche that looked like it was going to be, I thought it was going to be decent or good. Um, and when I had it, it just wasn't that great. So I was like, you know what? My quiche tastes better, so I'm gonna make my quiche. We have the stuff. I had stuff here. I did have to get some pie crust because I didn't feel like making pie crust, but I'm excited to eat that quiche later today. It's gonna be delicious. And what I've been thinking about, is about parenting a lot. Um, if you're new to this vlog series, I have 4 kids. So my oldest is a teenager, and my middle guy is about to turn 10. And then my other son is 5, and then my youngest is 5 months. She'll be 6 months soon. And gosh, how not even time itself, but just watching them grow and the bittersweetness of it, and how awesome it is to watch them experience new things and grow into their own. So my almost 10-year-old, he has taken up fencing and he loves it. And I am overjoyed that he has found something that he loves. It took us time, right? It took us really just having patience with the process of different experiences that he got to try out to see what fit for him. And he's done other things and it just wasn't really for him, or it was for a season but not for a longer time. And who knows, maybe this fencing thing is for a season too, I don't know. But he is really, really enjoying it, and it's something that's challenging to him. And he's someone who, academically at least, like, things come easy to him. And so when something is challenging, it can be a little bit more difficult, right? When you're used to things coming easily to you and then all of a sudden you feel challenged, it can be difficult to handle. But he's doing so well. He's getting a lot of feedback about how he can progress, about how he can continue to improve. And he's taking it in stride. He's really taking it in. He's like allowing himself to learn and grow from it. Such a learner's heart with this sport. And it's just beautiful to see. I mean, we can all benefit from having a learner's heart and a learner's mind, can't we? So thinking about that and just witnessing that has been really, really cool. But I've also been thinking a lot about just the teens in our lives, whether you have your own teen like I do, or whether you have teens in your family or in your neighborhood or in your community, or that you work with at your place of work or you're in your business. Stats have been showing us for a little bit now that of the age groups, teens are the most stressed, are among the most stressed, and depending on which research you read, but they're at the top in all of them. And oh my gosh, like, reflecting on that and thinking about that has been really interesting, because I do believe that it's not even a belief. I know that in order for things, whether it's in our relationships, whether it's something that we have going on within ourselves, whether it's a social thing within our systems and society, things get worse before they get better, especially when we're talking about revolutionary stuff, like changing things fundamentally, changing what has been going on for a really long time. And so the past, several years, the time of this recording, things have gotten rough in society, right? Like, mental health challenges have continued to skyrocket. Burnout has continued to skyrocket. Suicide rates have continued to not look good. And this is across the board, not just with teens. But teen in particular, mental health rates and stress levels have really been high. And so I know that things get worse before they get better. And so I know I can feel, I can see that, you know, with the divide that we've seen happening politically, with regard to race, with regard to Democrats versus Republicans, with regard to Christians versus non Christians, with regard to it all. There's just been so much division. But the goal is for there to be more unity and more. I'm speaking for myself. My goal is for there to be more unity while embracing diversity, is for there to be more healing so folks can feel safe even when they disagree. For us to move forward as individuals, as communities, as a nation, as a world, in a way that is more healthy, that is more healing, rather than in a way that is more hurtful or more hindering. And in order for us to do that, we have to look at the ugly underbelly of stuff that's been going on. And that's hard. And that leads to division because it leads to a lot of defensiveness and a lot of pain and a lot of challenge, which is why things get harder before they get better. And so I know that that's being reflected in, excuse me. I know that that's being reflected in the challenges that we're seeing happen in all the generations. But as a parent, none of us want our kids to have to endure things that we just don't think that they should have to endure, right? Gosh, and then it's like on the flip side, if I think back to my adolescence, to even my childhood, just my growing up in general, it's like being in those really challenging times sucked. I felt really lonely. It was really painful. And yet at the same time, I can tell you with certainty that I would not be able to hold in the same capacity, like the level of emotional like challenge that I can hold now. I wouldn't have as complex of a perception of things as I do now. Like if it weren't for my life experiences, including and especially the most challenging ones, I would be a different person right now. And not to say that that's like right or wrong or anything like that, but I'm really proud of the person that I am. I'm really proud of myself and all that I've navigated in life. And it took me a while to really believe in myself in that way, like to feel internally proud of myself regardless what anyone else thinks or says or believes about me. And that's a really fulfilling feeling. That's a sense of belonging regardless of what other people think or say, or whether they like or want or accept you. And I just know that so much of my passion and so much of my purpose was birthed, was clarified through the pains that I experienced, even though I don't wish for those pains to be experienced on anyone. Isn't it so interesting? And so thinking about that as a parent is like, as much as I don't want pain for any of my children, I also am aware that challenge in life is part of their journey. And as a parent, that's hard. Very much what I think is symbolic of how people think of God as like parental, right? It's like we all have freedom of choice. We're all going to experience challenges, pains, hard times. And that's just part of it. Even if, our source, our God, our universe doesn't want that for us, it's just part of it. It's part of life. And, the decisions that we make, that can make it so that those challenges and those pains turn into deeper, greater, more intense, longer lasting suffering, or continued chain of pain in our life, in our relationship, and elsewhere. We get say so over that, right? About how we react and therefore how we contribute to it continuing. But we don't get say so over there just being no challenge or no pain in life whatsoever. Because through those challenges and through those pains, we learn. And I don't believe that's the only way that we learn, but it's certainly one of them. Putting that in context, as a parent, especially of teens nowadays, when it's like, how do you put words to this? If you've got kids, you can feel me, I'm sure. I want them to experience life. I want her to experience life. I want her to feel safe in experiencing all of the emotions that she has as a human. I want her to feel joyful, and I know that your joy is limited if you don't also allow yourself to feel the sorrow and the pain and the sadness. Because when you blunt emotion, you blunt emotion. Period. So if we're blunting our ability, our capacity to feel, to hold the sadness, then we're also blunting our ability, our capacity to hold, to feel the joy. I don't want that for her or any of them or myself or anyone, right? I want her to freely be able to feel what she feels. So how do we as parents do the best that we can be? Do the best that we can, right? While knowing that we just can't ensure a lack of pain or a lack of challenge for them. And even if we could, it would limit, prohibit, or restrict their growth and their journey towards clarifying their passions and purpose in life. What a catch-22. What a catch-22. So, what I choose, if you've followed me at all, you've probably heard me say this because it's very important, and I believe it's something that we need to come back to time and time again. What I choose is to come back to how I just want to show up as a person who has compassion, as a person who is open and willing to forgive and to ask for forgiveness, as a person who is willing and wanting to grow, to learn and evolve, as a person who cares about how I meaningfully connect. Just come back to that, come back to that, come back to that, come back to that, so I can operate within integrity of how I want to show up as a person, and reflect that through how I want to show up as a mom, and have faith in my source, and that source is within me, not outside of me. It's within me. I have a direct connection to it. It's also outside of me, but I'm talking about have faith in the source that is within me, that I have a direct connection to, that connects all of us to all living things and to each other. Have faith that she, my daughter, and all my other kids, they have that too within them, supporting them, connecting them to everything and everyone living around them. And that if we remember that connection, and we can come back to that and come back to that and come back to that, then even through the challenge, the pain, the hard times, the things that get worse before they get better, there are possibilities. Possibilities for progress, possibilities for hope, possibilities for better, possibilities for love, possibilities for compassion, possibilities for creative solutions. There are possibilities above and beyond what it is we see or hear or feel or taste or touch right here and now. There are possibilities for more. And that brings me so much peace to come back to those two things, that I can choose how I'm going to show up and do so with integrity as best I can. And then I can tap in to this connection with my own sense of life force, of source, of godly energy that connects all of us and that is within me. Knowing that it's always there. Even and especially when things are really challenging. And with that, I can know that bad things don't happen to us because we deserve them. That's not what this is about, right? Hard things don't happen because we just deserve it. That's not what this is about. We were all born worthy of love and care and compassion and intimate, meaningful connection and safety and belonging. This is about possibilities. This is about we all having a purpose. We all have a purpose. This is about belief and faith. This is about enjoying life, even as we're evolving, day in, day out, moment to moment. That's what it's about. So I'll leave you with those reflections today. I will ponder them a bit more, maybe do some writing about them. And I'm really looking forward to our Easter celebration this weekend coming up. The kids are really excited about it. So I'm eager to experience that with them, but also I'm really appreciating just the peace and quiet that I have this morning before everyone wakes up. So I hope you all have an amazing day.